Welcome.
Happy
Welcome,
Thursday.
everyone.
Happy
Uh-oh.
Thursday. Happy Friday Eve.
Oh my
You know what I'm
God.
saying? I'm so excited. I've been excited all day just because of the fact that tomorrow's Friday. For no apparent reasons, just that tomorrow is Friday. So,
I literally be forgetting that it's almost Friday, and especially this week because yesterday was Juneteenth.
mm.
And that really did a number on it. Like, come on, everybody. Everybody's confused today.
I
Just
could
admit it.
actually work better, like, not better like that, but because I still need the 2 days back to back off. But like, two days on, 1 day off, 2 days off, I could do that. I
I
feel like
could
I
do
could do
that
that.
too. I could do that too. That is a compromise. But then you would have to give something up because I think about that sometimes
Yeah.
too. A 4-day working week means you're going to have to work like 10-hour days.
Longer or, yeah.
Yeah, or be more flexible when it comes to like how late you're willing to take on work. Like you're gonna be next thing you know, answering emails at 7 o'clock. It's like it's not all it's cracked up to be. But I
Yeah, no.
mean, like I don't know. Everybody's different. Every situation is
I
different.
like this week though. So
Yeah, this week was confusing, but I really did like it. I really did enjoy it. I don't know how this is gonna pan out because like I remember when this started a few years ago, like the Juneteenth
hmm
as a federal holiday, it ended on a Friday, and I don't know why I just assumed at that point that it was always going to land on a Friday.
um
Because whenever July 4th is on like a Wednesday or something, we seem to get like days off around it. So, but
mm,
I'm like, I don't think that's going to be the case with Juneteenth. It's
no.
going to be like
And this was an example of it because it was smack in the middle of the week. No,
right.
but I get no
For some
because
reason, I
July
feel
Fourth, July
like
Fourth is like, especially if it's on a Thursday, then yeah, they'd probably be like, all right, off Friday. I don't know.
yeah. Well, we need to get it changed to 2 days, everybody. Listen, this is I didn't even mean to go there with it, but hey, listen, we're here, everyone. We need to get it changed to 2 days. And I was super confused about how to celebrate the day, and I was found myself not working for my day job, but working like jobs around the house. And I looked at James like, "You have me working on the day when slaves
That's
were
so funny.
were, were supposed to be free." And then I feel like we're owed more than this. Like I hate to get greedy, but listen, we're gonna talk about this. I think
And
it
what do you think? What do you
is
think is should be
well,
added?
well, I've, I've got some ideas. What you asked? No, I don't have any ideas. But I
Well,
think it should
since
be
you
something.
asked,
It should be something in the form of like free something for blacks, and it needs to be
oh my,
some sort of monetary something celebrated. It's like, listen, you need to be pushing black businesses. You need to be, you know what I'm saying, take a black person to dinner night. Like it needs to be everybody needs to be buying t-shirts or something from all and be nice to your black friends day. Like
oh
it
my.
needs to be all of that, and we need 2 days just like Independence Day for America. Because listen, this is what it is. These are our first negotiations. We'll
Oh
see
my
how these
goodness.
come back, and then we'll deal. Okay, it's like let's see your counter offer. But yeah, no, I still don't really understand how to celebrate the day. But who celebrates every holiday anyway?
Well, I definitely celebrated by not working because I was thinking about logging onto my computer since I was here anyway. But I was like, nope, I'm gonna do stuff for myself today, and I did really good. I did really good, so that's how I celebrated.
Well, good for you. Good for you. I've been we were talking a little bit off camera, and I've been talking about consistency. We always be talking about consistency, but I've been very obsessed with it and obsessing over it, and I'm very excited to share that I now understand what it means. And basically, it means do it now and then do it again later. Because you know what?
If you're gonna do it,
whenever
no,
you plan to do something later and start something later, when you plan to start something later, man, the
it's
odds are
always
just
gonna
so
be
against
later.
you. The odds are so against you because you're already just putting off the
When
so
you're already gonna be busy.
it's already the spirit of the thing is that it might not work. Because if you
Mhm.
think about it, it's like you're either going to make something work or you're going to be like, okay, it didn't work. But like either way, it was your choice in the way it happened. It might, I'm not saying like you can control everything. I'm just saying that like your mindset just has so much to do with it. And if you're
Mhm.
already saying like I'm going to start this later, that's not a good indication that it's
Yes.
not the best chance basically. So and that's what I realized like when the I've been able to show myself that I'm consistent, right? And like I knew that I could be consistent anyway, but I've actually been able to prove it to myself. And what I realized is like it's better to just do it when you're thinking about it and then, plan on doing it later as well. So whenever you say I'll start that later, it's like, oh, let me do some now. And then I'll do some more later too. Right? Whenever I
Yes,
plan on
because
starting, that'll be the second time.
you're just trying to connect a chain of momentum. Like I was telling you before, like it doesn't matter if you like if your goal is to let's work out, for instance, right? You don't have to, do you can set a goal to say, oh, I want to work out 4 times this week, an hour each day. Say you don't hit that, but you only worked out for 20 minutes 3 days in a row, right? That's still a chain of momentum that you're connecting and that you can go back and pick it up. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like don't focus on the consistency part until you make it a habit. Once you make it a habit, then you can be like, oh, go wild with it. I'm going to do it for this long. I'm going to do it on this day because you're already used to doing it. But when you're trying to create the habit, just focus on consistency, not 12 reps of this, 15 reps of this.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
And I've been
Focus on
learning too about like low impact workouts and how amazing they are because they're not hard on your body, but they keep your body burning more fat longer. But like you do have to have some impact. Like when I was talking about the incline walking, like yo, I'm learning so much. It's like you think, oh, like I was doing incline walking, but not as long as they're saying you should. Like I did last week. I did 5% incline a couple times, but never for more than like 5 minutes. But it's the perfect time. And let me just give a shout out to Beyonce because Beyonce be getting me through them incline moments. Um, and I think Michael Jackson's gonna get me through July on those incline moments because it's something about listening to a song when you're walking up the incline that like gives you the zhuzh, it gives you the back, it gives you the support, the
Do you
cosign.
have I'm a Survivor on your playlist?
I didn't even know. I don't.
Do that on the incline.
All right, all right.
And another one I can recommend is Rihanna's the one that's it's something something something. There's the wait your turn. The wait is
Oh yeah.
that one. Oh, those are my two favorite
Okay.
pump me up workout things. It's just they just both make me feel like yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I was
Those are
listening
only two.
to Monster while we were walking in the park the other day, and I just
Okay.
couldn't control myself. I was like, "Yo, this is so funny." We got back to the car, and I was like, I turned the music off, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's what this is for." Like it was so powerful when I needed it. It was
Listen,
like,
if
"Oh
you're
yeah,
not working out to a playlist of some sort, what are you even doing?
what are you
What
doing?"
are
I mean, because I'd be in a whole music video in my head. It's like everybody's everybody who I'm imagining is just watching me crush
you
this workout, but it's like a workout dance because in my mind I'm not just working out, I'm also dancing. And all of these people in my mind in the song in the concert that's happening in my headphones, they're looking at me crush the workout.
I always have dance breaks in my workouts. Okay,
Oh my god.
it has to happen because it's just like, yeah, I'm doing this. Yep, you
Yeah.
know, and however it looks, it looks. But yeah, like those are the things that you should focus on to keep you consistent. What makes you feel like working out? What songs do
Yeah.
you need to pump you up? You know what I'm saying? All you need to do is take the thinking out of it and just be like, all right, I'm here for 20 minutes. And then you might go past the 20 minutes, but you basically just like I said, need to focus on the consistency part, not the
Yeah.
actual I need to work out for an hour because if you don't, you'll beat yourself up and be like, oh, I can't make an hour, and now you talking to yourself
Absolutely.
negatively. It's a whole cycle. So
I've got some little tricks up my sleeve, and one of them is I always just trick myself to say, "Oh, it's only 10 minutes. You can do anything with 10 minutes." So my goal just be like, just get out the door, just get out there, just get to the gym. Don't worry, or just get to the park. You'll figure out when you get there, right?
And
And
it's
so that's
okay if
one of my
you
tricks.
connect thoughts like that. It's okay because think of how impressionable we are as humans. Like if you put a person in a room with a whole bunch of angry people, eventually they're not going to be happy to be there, right? So
Yeah,
it's like if you know that you don't really particularly like working out and like you just focused on, let me just get there, let me just do this, because the reality is even if you only showed up for those 10 minutes a day, that's still movement that counts. You feel what I'm saying? And that is
yeah,
still movement and consistency that you're going to see results. And you may not see a big, huge result, but you're definitely going to see a result, and you're going to make yourself feel better because you actually did show up for 10 minutes more than you did last week, or however many minutes those add up to, right? You have to look at stuff like that, because if not, you're going to get stuck into the negative loop of, I didn't do this, and this is why I'm fat, and this is why, and that's unproductive. You know what I'm saying? You should be
yeah,
thinking, yep, I worked out for 20 minutes today. Guess what? We're going to try to do 20 minutes tomorrow. And if we don't
hmm,
do 20 minutes tomorrow, we still going to try to do 20 minutes tomorrow. You feel what I'm saying? And
yeah,
celebrate whatever you do, because in that moment you're trying to create a habit. If you aren't able to get to the goal, that means you're still in the process of trying to create the habit. So be kind to yourself, like, and like just be like, all right, listen, I showed up. That means that I'm hitting the consistency button, right?
yep,
Because this is what I'm doing right now. I have my own little workout regimen or whatever, but I want to learn how to do jump rope tricks. And so even though I already know how to jump rope, I gotta practice those moves or whatever to learn how to do the tricks, right? So what I'm doing is I'm gonna do 15 minutes a day of practicing or whatever, right? And
yeah,
that's gonna be a long time for jump rope, but it's like I'm not gonna be jumping continuously, but it's like for that 15 minutes, I'm gonna work on whatever the move is that the person is showing me how to do. And eventually I'll be able to, jump for longer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't
yep.
know. I just feel like even if it's a little bit of time, the fact is that you showed up and you did something. So
Absolutely. I'm so, look, 110 and 50%. And it's so funny because I do recognize that, and I am giving myself credit for that more recently. And even just the curiosity of learning like what's happening when your body's burning fat. And like I'm not so super into that, but it makes me, it gives me like the motivation sometimes to just be like, just get out there and your body will do the work. Just get out there and just get started. And the other, look, I said I had a couple of tricks. One trick is the line. Look, and I'm just lying to myself. I know you're saying like a 10-minute workout is better than zero. I agree with that. But most of the time when I get out there, especially if I'm leaving this place, going to another location, I'm going to stay for more than 10 minutes. So I know that I'm lying to myself, but I believe it. I believe it. I believe it when I'm leaving. I'm like, oh, just get your shoes on. Just go, you just
I
have to
mean,
walk out
because
the door.
otherwise, I mean, you really shouldn't just be focusing on the moment, because the future hasn't happened yet.
Yep.
The past is already gone. So you're doing right. All I need to do is get in the car and get there.
Yep.
Take the thinking out of it and just do whatever you have to do when you get there. You know what I'm saying? But the point is to move, because, like I said, it really doesn't matter honestly, it doesn't really matter what exercise you do. You move your body and you're gonna build up, um, you know, you're gonna make your heart rate, increase your heart rate or whatever, doing whatever it is you're doing, and that is what's gonna show you the results. That's why I said just find something you like,
Yep. And just like you said, be consistency.
because
Show some consistency.
it's not really rocket science, right? It's just that we've lived long enough for people to have done some studies, but back in the day, people were just moving,
Yeah.
right? Basic stuff like walking, running, pushing, pulling,
Yeah.
right? So it doesn't matter like the complexity of the exercise. Oh, that's great that you can do a stand up, push up, sit down, do a cartwheel. That's great, but you can get results from just doing squats
Yep.
and lunges or
We're
walking,
walking.
right?
Yep.
So anyway, I can get on that
Yeah, so
soapbox.
we're gonna leave that one alone, but that's just one of the things that we like to both talk about. So that's definitely gonna basically be a segment here. But I do want to give a shout out to, like they need it, but like what my go-to people to watch, I think I probably said this before, is Juice and Toya. They
Mhm.
always have something that I can get into, and I'm just learning. I'm learning the love of the 20-minute workout. Oh, I forgot to say the second thing, the second trick that I be having up my sleeve is, there's this saying that you never regret a workout. That's one thing that I'm starting to realize. I never regret a workout, and I rarely ever regret like taking the time to detail clean something, because
Mhm.
chances are like I'm gonna enjoy like the smell of the clean for like days, weeks to come, or I'm gonna enjoy looking at it. Sometimes you know how you clean something and you keep walking past it like
So
that's
funny.
so good,
Yeah.
so neat and organized. So I rarely ever regret that. Sometimes I do though, I ain't gonna lie. But I never really regretted a workout. I really
No.
haven't. And maybe that's because I've never injured myself or whatever like that. But
I haven't even regretted workouts where I hurt myself.
like,
Mm.
here's the thing. I feel so good. You know, the best feeling is when you're about to be done your workout and you get that rush of arrogant energy. Like, I can do 10 more minutes. It's pure arrogance because I just barely wanted to show up and walk up the steps.
But
You
that
know,
is what I'm saying.
yeah.
When I say that all you need to do is start with the 5 and 10 minutes, the thing that's going to happen is you're going to get that arrogance at the end eventually, and you're going
But
to
it
add
feels
more into
great.
that. But that's the point of when people quit is because they're thinking about the fact that they don't want to be doing 45 to an hour workouts when you don't have to do that. You just need to get yourself back into the habit so that arrogance can pick up and you can have your little 30 minutes every 4 days or whatever it is you do it to, right? A lot of people talk themselves out of it and quit because they're thinking about, like, why wouldn't you get up and do 5 or 10 minutes? What's your excuse? You don't have one,
Right.
but that's not what you're thinking about. You're thinking about, I don't feel like getting up, getting dressed,
Yeah.
going to the gym, spending an hour doing this, da, da, da. But that's not what you should be focusing on because that
No, and you
thing
know
will
what
push you
else?
out.
That brings me to another point, and I know we can ready to get off of this, but one of the other things that I guess is a trick or whatever, or a hack, is I've learned to. This is my terminology here, but I'm calling it applying active discipline, because anything you do, you're applying discipline. If you're sitting in a room, like, you're gonna act like the other people in the room. They do those memes and stuff online where you can see like these studies are done, people get in the room and they get in an elevator, everybody's facing to the left, so they face to the
Mm-hmm.
left. People do stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that all the time, but it takes
Didn't
discipline.
we watch something where somebody they have these people inside of this room recently, and like
Yeah.
people were just standing up and they were
Yes.
sitting down or whatever. That's my point. We're so impressionable. That's why you just have to put yourself, like, it's an all day thing. It's not even like, oh, you wake up and be like, oh, I'm gonna do this today. No, you're gonna say that, you're gonna set your intentions, but that's why morning routines are important as well because it gives your mind that boost of confidence to handle the other stuff, right? To follow through on the stuff that you
Yeah.
plan. Think about it. When you wake up and you wake up late, you're already in reaction mode. You can't think about nothing else. Everything
Yeah.
irritates. You gotta get done. You can't. You didn't do anything for yourself. You didn't prepare yourself. But if you got
Yeah.
up, prepared yourself, had your little coffee, had your little 20-minute workout, read your little 10 pages in a book or whatever, now you feel like I've already done some like
Yeah.
good shit this morning. This is nothing. You feel what
I'm
I'm saying?
already into the day.
So that's why a short morning routine could really do wonders throughout your day because it's all about setting your mind up. But
Yeah.
people kind of skip over it because they start thinking. You know what I'm saying? But like
Yeah, and
it's
a
the
lot of times, oh, sorry, and let me just say this. A lot of times, the momentum for whatever you're doing follows the first 10 minutes of action. This is true with stuff that I do at work. This is true with workouts. Like, the first time in a workout where I'm doing something that's really hard, like I was at the gym the other day and I was doing the Juice and Toya thing in the little area where the mirror is, and I was like, oh, they're really fucking around with me today. Like, I remember thinking like, oh, they're trying to really challenge me today or whatever. So, and I remember after that, that's when I like woke up because it was like really early in the morning. But it's like that little thing, or like sometimes when I start something at work, it'd be that first 10 minutes, and I'm like, I asked like two or three questions, like, but hold up, how did this get changed? And who put this in here? And now I'm on it. Now I'm into the project, right? But it takes the first 10 minutes of action to get you there. And so it doesn't, the feeling like it probably is not going to come in the beginning. It's going to come after you apply it. And that's what I'm saying. My terminology is, uh, applying active discipline, because the same way that you can train yourself to act like the people in the room, to fit in into a group of people, the same way you can just kind of like, Joe Dispenza will say, train your body to sit down and obey you. Like, you sit there and I'll feed you later, like you're talking to your body. It's the same thing that is like active discipline to get you up in the morning. Like, I'm just gonna go brush my teeth. Like, the rest of the stuff is gonna happen once I get in the bathroom. But the choice to go brush my teeth, whether I'm tired or not, that's the thing. That's the switch.
And that's what people have to get to, because you're right, motivation comes after the action, after you're already into it. But you have, that's where habit stacking comes in. You put a new
Yeah.
habit in between habits that you already do. Maybe it's brushing your teeth and using the bathroom, right? You're already up. Maybe you make your bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put
Yeah.
that new habit in there. That's what habit stacking is all about, because once you start the habit, the chain continues. And so that's the whole point of like a morning routine. Sometimes, like, being consistent in a workout routine has nothing to do with the workout routine. It has everything to do with how you're um, disciplining yourself. If you create a morning routine where, like, you say, oh, I'm gonna, pray, meditate, or write in my journal, I'm gonna read a book, and I'm gonna stretch or move for 20 minutes. You already got stuff out of the way, and it tells your body, oh, we're doing this,
We're
and it
serious.
really changes your mindset. I used the analogy before about a kindergartner. Like, when I used to take Earl to school, I remember I would never try to, I would never, obviously, I wouldn't like to yell at him or nothing. But, like, kids in the morning, they do shit, and you'd be like, I'm late, whatever. I try not to do that to him, because I didn't want him to go to school and have a bad day, because I
Mm,
know that stuff affects people. But we're the same way as
yeah.
humans. So we have to kind of treat ourselves like that sometimes, because you can say all day, oh, yeah, I'm going to work out tomorrow. But if you don't plan for it, or like know yourself and be like, I know I'm not a morning person, so I'm going to need to do this to make this work. Or I'm going to need to, it's like you have to treat yourself like that. But we don't do that. Like, we will know exactly what to tell somebody who comes to us for
Yeah.
advice, but we don't take the advice. Like, we already know what to do. Like, nobody needs any more information on what to work out, why this exercise is good. Like, everything that you need to do. You know why you're overweight. You know what you're not supposed to eat. Like, we know these things already. We just have to go back to, like you said, it's creating that discipline or whatever. But the way that you do it is with small, consistent habits. I keep trying to
Yeah.
tell everybody this. Like, I keep trying to shout it from the
Never,
halfway
I've
habits
never
work.
heard you say this
I'm the
before.
biggest procrastinator, right? And I've been able to make myself be a consistent workouter, a consistent, like, nutritionist. What is the word I'm looking for? The
Nutritionalist.
food game is nutritious and on point, and, like, mostly whole foods. But anyway, let's get out of that. You can still transform your habits, people. That's what the point of this conversation is.
All right, look. All right, so we're off our soapbox now. We've been on that box for at least 16 minutes, but
It's been
that's
like
okay because that
23
was free.
minutes. That's crazy.
You know what? You're welcome. You're welcome, everyone. This is free for now, and then in a few years it won't
Oh
be.
my god.
Speaking of which, it's so funny. I was watching Shan's and Donnie, Shanny, as I like to call them, on Social Proof, and I love when they're so transparent, because the name of the pod was not what I expected. Like, it was like, this is why you don't have financial discipline or something
I
like
saw
that.
that. Yeah.
And I
Why you're
watched
not.
it, and then first of all, first thing I noticed is it was 39 minutes, which is a short podcast for them. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, this is so it's such a good reminder that, like, everything doesn't have to be the same all the time. Like, she just did an interview with Tasha Smith
That was
that
good
was
too.
so
Talk about
good. I don't think I finished it. I think I got to like the last 10 minutes and I had to like get off the train and I forgot to go watch
that.
the rest of it. But it was a good one, and I
It
did go
was
back and
great.
watch the one with Ronnie Brown.
That
But
one was
anyway,
short too. The Tasha Smith one was short. It was like 30 minutes too.
and what's crazy is that's what it takes. I think I do like a lot of long form stuff too. I like those 2 and 3 hour talks and stuff, but I think especially when you're just getting established, it's okay to have a shorter podcast. It's okay to have like a 30-minute thing. And I think something
Yeah,
is something draws me to like 20 or 30 minutes. And I think
because you
that's
don't have 2 hours. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I think that's probably what I'm going to try to focus some of the content that I create around. It's just like that type of thing. So it's like, I don't know. Anyway, that's not what we're
Well,
talking
I
about.
mean, I think that you just need to find your own like sweet spot. Like I've been doing, I need to make some playlists too. I've been doing every day in the morning. I do like a morning motivation, the morning routine, and it's from 2 to 5 minutes. I just come on here and say whatever I gotta say, whatever. Then I'm off. So I mean, I'm with you on the time. Like I choose what I watch by how I like the person and how interested I'm in. Well, not really how I like the person, but how interested am I in the topic that you're talking to me about, right? And so like I will watch
Mm-hmm.
like the Cat Williams
Yeah.
interview. I was interested in that long video, but obviously I don't have like 3 hours all the time to watch stuff or whatever. So a lot of times if I see something that's
Right.
like 20 minutes or 30 minutes, I'm apt to watch it. But social proof stuff, I'll watch their stuff that's over that's more of a long form video because I guess that's kind of how they came to us or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
And the
but
value is always there. It's like, I
yeah,
realized.
and I think that's what's most important. It doesn't matter how long it is. What's in the video? Is it
Mhm.
something helpful in the video?
And there is a level of edutainment there where I think, their personalities are fun, where it's fun to watch them, but there's always a value. Even in this video, it was 39 minutes and literally dropping gems until the very last thing Donnie said was another gem. I was like,
Right.
yo, I need to write this down. What is she doing? And then the thing cut off. And I was like, what in the world?
Right.
It was
I'll
so
watch it
good,
tonight.
but
But I
it's
have been
also,
noticing too that sometimes they cut their episodes up, so it may have been a longer
it could
video
have
that
been a
they could
longer
have played the
episode
other
they
half
cut out.
somewhere else.
That would be
Um,
genius. But I shout out to them again just because they are providing value, but then also, um, they were really transparent on there today, on the one that aired today. Probably, I'm
I'm
sure
gonna
it wasn't
watch it.
today, and I appreciate that because a lot of people out here who are like aspiring to be, entrepreneurs on higher levels, there's not a lot of information, like real time information out there
Hmm.
about how to do it and to how to, like, what to avoid even. And so sometimes they'll just share their own stories. I find that to be so helpful.
Hmm.
Even though they're sharing everybody's stories, it's really good when they're sharing their own stories and it's like, oh, you too. So that was kind of like the moment that I was having today when I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like, to know that we're all kind of going through the same things. But anyway, that said,
So, have you watched the Hot Seat?
I've watched it before. I haven't watched it recently. I saw some of the
So,
clips.
okay, so I've watched almost all of them Jones, but so basically he was doing this thing where he was trying to like re-edit it or like recreate it. So like historically, it's him, it's the person. They got the nice little backdrops and they cut from him to her, whoever the people are,
Yeah.
and it's raw like hot seat coaching, right? Well, he did this episode and the episode was good. He did this episode where they added like music and like transition and movie screen stuff in the background or whatever. And it was just like at first when the stuff first started happening that was different from how I was used to seeing the videos, I was like, oh hell nah, Dave. No,
It was
no,
like a
no.
game show or like a cheaters thing where it's just like zoom, zoom, zoom. These are your best.
Sometimes it's
Oh, okay.
it's a longer video. It's like 50 minutes, I guess. But first of all, the music. Only reason I'm talking about this is because he ended up doing a video on Instagram about how everybody like tore him up about in the comments about we don't like the music, we don't like this whatever production.
Wow.
What the fuck? Put it back. But there were some people that liked it, right? So you just never know who's gonna like what, right? But I felt like it was just too much at one time, right? Because we're not used to that in the hot seat or their things. Period. We're used to getting the raw footage or whatever, and it was just too animated. But it was the funny thing about it was the feedback. I watched the hot seat a little late, but I really went to go watch it after I saw him do the Instagram and talk about. He was like, "Yo, dang, y'all just tore me up," and I said, "Let me go see these comments," and they did. People was like, bruh, no, let's not do it."
Yo, that's so dope too that he was like ready to apply it. Because it's like he could have been like, I'm trying this out. I'm trying this out for 3 weeks. It's like, look, the people have spoken,
Yeah,
okay?
we don't know. He might because that one was good though. He gave good advice. Like he's always very transparent with the people on there or whatever. But it was just the one thing for me. If I had to say one thing, it was the music for me. It was like, let's not do that. Let's not do that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, shout out to them though because they are very, shit. They've been doing it. That we watched them. We watched them like get to this point. Hey, Buttercup, she's so funny.
She's got to be in the film. She got to be. It's the Buttercup Show, everyone. We're all invited.
Anyway, shout out to the Social Proof Podcast.
Yeah, shout out to them. Okay, so this next one, listen, let's talk about this because we talked about this a little bit, but I don't know if we. So Will Smith is back out here outside, y'all.
Yeah.
I don't know
Is
how
this
he
recent?
got back outside, but it's like he never really. No, he was definitely on punishment for a little bit, but this is him. I think
Wasn't he
coming
in
back
like another
outside,
country?
outside. I don't think. I mean, he's done endured a lot. I'm just gonna. I know this is not what this is about, but we're just on the topic of Will Smith, so I'm just gonna go there. He's done a lot, and he's also endured a lot back from the August Alsina stuff, where he was just looking so sad, and all the red table talk stuff, and then we get to, all the gay rumors and the slap, and then more gay rumors, and then even after the slap, something happened after that too, right? Like that's when Jada went and did her book,
Oh yeah, she did
right?
she did an interview. She did a couple interviews, and she did the book. And then that guy, brother Bilal, was coming out at the same time.
Yeah. And so there's all these rumors, and then there's more gay rumors. I mean, like, I'm not making this up. I'm not saying it too many times. Like, there's always been gay rumors, and there's been swingers rumors, and there's been all this stuff. And now, lo and behold, they're kind of coming out and admitting to it. Like, those rumors are never true. And she'll just say random stuff like, rumors are rumors. Rumors are just what rumors are. Has he been sexually active with men? Sure. But is he gay? Who's to say? Right? It's like, I mean, that's not a quote. Anyway.
So this is recent.
This is recent.
Okay.
Because he's going around, I've seen him talking as like a, he does this from time to time. He'll just kind of be in this capacity. I do believe this is recent. Hold up. It's possible. No, this is his face now. He has a very distinct journey with his face. Like
no, this is now face.
Now this isn't a like 3-year-old. You know what I'm saying? This isn't a 3 years ago's Will face. Like he's not bad looking or anything, but like I think this is definitely recent. Anyway, this was a really good clip. Thank you for sharing it with me because I hadn't seen it. And basically, he was saying, it's the same thing he's been saying in all these videos we've been seeing for years, for the last few decades, about just like how you have to work hard and stuff. But in this one, it's a little bit more bravado because he's basically like, if you're just good at something and you have talent and you can walk in and easily get a beat, that's great. But you really have to work hard. It's very simple, but it's not easy. And he was like, if you're one of those people who's just talented and you don't really work that hard, you're never going to beat somebody like me. Mm-hmm. I loved it when he said that.
Right. It was the confidence in how he said it or whatever.
And it's true. And you know what else? There's another thing. This isn't even related to him, but Jocelyn Hernandez says this once, and other people have said it too, but I loved it when she said it. Somebody had asked her what her workout routine was. Like, what's your workout regimen? Like, you be in a gym, we could tell. Da, da, da. She was like, I could tell you, but you're not going to do it. Listen, and I love that. Yeah. I love that because I was like, right. That's
most
dope.
People are not. It's the same thing that Donnie and them be saying. This is true for anything, stuff outside of exercise. Most people are not going to take action. Like, think about all of the fucking information we got from those classes and stuff like that. That's what they always used to say is that because at some point it's like, yeah, you have the information, but you still have to go through a process individually to be able to wrap your mind around taking the action. Because even for people who don't work out, it's not the fact that they don't know what to do. It's whatever they're dealing with and they're telling themselves and how it's the mindset. And that's with everything. You know what I'm saying? And so she was right. She was right. Like, and then to talk about that, I just watched your nephew do this like 2-hour workout today. I was just like, yo, he's still in his pre-adult body, I guess.
Yeah, he still has all that energy.
I ain't got 2 hours to do that. But I was like, that's what's up.
I'm sure he has a lot of time too, but
But
he
to
also has a
his
lot of
point
energy.
though, to his point, everybody's not gonna do that. If you told somebody, "Hey, I worked out for 2 hours, I did this, I did that," nobody's gonna do
But
it.
it's such a good thing to be the type of person to do that because that puts you ahead of so many other people. Like literally, there's gonna be people keep complaining about AI and how it's gonna take jobs. AI is never gonna take all the jobs because there's I mean, like if you're in a good space and like in in your intelligence, there's always going to be some way that you could even use AI to do
I
something.
was about
So
to say that
it's
people said it was going to take jobs, but it's also going to make jobs too because there are people who know how to use it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and if you
So
don't listen, if you only know how to do things that AI is doing, then you can just learn how to do some other things. Like the world is changing, you know. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. What I was basically trying to say there was that, anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's go back to Will Smith. I'm sorry. We'll probably circle back there later, but Will Smith is over here talking about how yeah when you're that type of person you can enjoy a certain type of life because first of all not a lot of people are willing to work that hard, so you're just basically carving out a lane for yourself that most people are not willing to go down. And and by you working that muscle and saying like, oh, I'm going to be even better tomorrow, I'm going to be even better than I was today tomorrow, like, oh, I'm going to even be even to better today than I was yesterday. By you saying that, you're putting yourself in, it's not even like you're putting yourself in a category right then and there, but like over time that effort compounds and then you're just going to be better than everybody because so many people just weren't willing to put in all the work that you were willing to put in. So it's nice to hear him say that. He's like, it's a simple concept, it's not easy, but you basically just have to like keep working and try to keep working and working and working on it and not just rely on what comes easy to you.
I mean, I think that too, but I also think it has to do with how you talk to yourself. Because a person
Mm,
who is not willing to do it, they at some point they have talked themselves out of it and convinced themselves that they're not that type of person and they can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So it
mm.
basically speaks to like, you know, how strong your mind is. Like you could be doing a plank right now and your mind will be like, bitch, we're tired. And you'll be like, no, but we're still holding ourselves up. But no, your mind is gonna be like, nah, we're gonna feel so good when we stop doing this.
You
And then
know
your
what?
mind is gonna
It's crazy that you say that because I've actually been thinking some things about that too. It's like we act out of our beliefs, whether we have information that we know is true or not. We literally, our actions are predicated on what we actually believe. And you could actually know that, like, oh, I believe this, even though it's probably not true. And you could know that logically, and still you're going to act on the belief. Even though this is true for other people, it might not be true for me. Even though this is possible, my luck is bad. Like, whatever you want to attach to it, people act out of their beliefs. And so really the focus for someone who finds themselves in that category should be to examine your beliefs. Are you willing to examine and challenge your beliefs and,
find the
and
proof
sift through
for
them
it.
and say, dude, I'm holding this belief, this is what I truly believe. Is it even true? Do I,
This is
is
so,
there more information out there that I could be, like ingesting so that I could.
this is so hilarious. Like I didn't really mean for this to be like a whole, we've been talking about like mindset and stuff like that. Like that is the reason why a lot of people don't work out. That is it. They're limited beliefs. It's because you're right. We do act out of our beliefs. Like it doesn't like that's what makes up your mindset, your beliefs. You know what I'm
And
saying?
then
What
from
you
there, you make
tell
it
yourself.
happen. It's perfect that we have Will Smith up here because out of everyone, he was the one who believed that he could be Will Smith and then acted on it. So there's probably hella people out there who could have been more talented than him or whatever, or better looking or whatever. Like he said this before, but he was one of the only ones to be like, "But I'm gonna do this hard."
And think about it. Think about little kids, right? Think about a little fifth grader, or not even fifth grader, a kindergartner. Let's think about a kindergartner or a preschooler, right? You could not tell them that they're not going to be a superhero. There's somebody on the other end of the phone that they're calling. They're going to go do this. They're going to go do that. Like they believe it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so that's kind of like that kind of belief is the belief that he had.
Yeah.
as an adult, right? But it's because like people don't understand how impressionable we are as humans. We think that we know what we're talking about all the time as far as like, oh, well, I don't do this and I don't do that, but you are constantly thinking something, you're constantly telling yourself something. There's something that is like confirming your beliefs to you, right? And so just like if you wanted to do something different, you would put yourself around those things. Like when you learn a new job or learn a new hobby, when you put yourself, whatever you put yourself around, and you can commit to learn some of it, you're gonna do better and better at it if you focus on doing that. It could be anything, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how we can all take a paint and sip class together, right? Because
Yeah.
let's focus on doing this, right? And so, but it's like we don't, when it comes to like being like, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that, it's like, oh, we let our thoughts get in the way and be like, oh, you can't do that, you didn't do the last thing, you didn't finish this, you didn't finish that. That's already doing that, and those things are like, they matter not. You know what I'm saying? So anyway,
Indeed.
we're
And
back
they
here.
don't matter until you latch onto them. This is such a messed up segue, but I'm going to do it, guys. It doesn't matter unless you latch onto it. And I hate to do this. No, we're going to do
About to
this.
happen right now.
We're going to happen. This is going to happen. This is going down. This
What
is,
is happening? Oh,
this is, I'm not going to say this is a limited mindset, but this is an example of how things could work. Okay, I'm gonna say this, and I'm not taking anything away from Alfonso Ribeiro because honestly, he's so like super talented. I was looking at something from the like 80s where he was like pop locking, dropping, rapping, right? Like he was that guy when he was like 12. Okay, he was in Silver Spoons. Like first of all, he's
yeah.
that guy is Carlton. He's that guy now doing the broadcasting stuff that he's doing and the Dancing with the Stars stuff. But this right here was a little hard to hear because he was basically like, for years he couldn't outgrow the
Mm.
Carlton role, and where other people would, think that it was fun and address him as Carlton, he couldn't move past it. So it was a sad time for him because other people couldn't understand why he hated that and why it was a bad time for him. And with the conversation that we were just having, I think it's interesting because it's the mindset that you accept, right?
Mm.
And so I'm not saying that his experience wasn't real. I mean, like, I understand what he's saying. He can't even watch the re
Are you serious?
yeah, because it's painful to him. But so this is serious though, because
Damn.
we didn't even know he was going through this. Like, not that we were gonna do anything about it, or we could have done anything about it, but the fact that he's basically like, now they're using these words ruined. I don't know if he said the word ruined, but
Mm-hmm.
the idea that something that he was good at brought him some challenge that he felt like he couldn't get from under.
Mm.
I understand that that's a very real thing and it happens to people and it happened to him. But this is what happens when you accept a mindset. Now he's moved past that now because now he has other opportunities, but I refuse to believe that he couldn't have created opportunities for himself. And here's why I say that. And no hater shade to Alfonso Ribeiro, because like I said, it's mad love. But it is an opportunity to like look at what a mindset can do.
Mm.
This is a story from, not even a story, a line from what's his name, Eddie Murphy, where he got up on stage or somebody's microphone one time and was like, somebody wrote and created a movie called Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. And if somebody wrote and created a movie called Attack of the Killer Tomatoes and it made it all the way to screen, and I think there might have even been more than one part in the cartoon and all that stuff. What a concept, guys. You can do anything you want if somebody made that movie. Somebody actually got somebody to agree to make that movie and have
That's
a whole
crazy.
franchise. And like, guess what it was about? You got it. Attack us some killer tomatoes that don't exist, that nobody cares. Like, who can, what? You
They
can
actually probably had a
literally come up
boardroom
with
meeting about it. That's
anything.
crazy.
And if you are committed and you can make somebody believe in your dream, somebody's gonna, you don't have to be that great. Like, I don't even know who wrote that. That person's not, it probably wasn't Steven Spielberg. So I'm saying it could have been. I
And
doubt it.
that's just like, I keep going back to the how impressionable our minds are, because it's no telling what was going on at that time, right? What was the tension like on the cast? What was happening to affect that? Because if you want to Like you showed me something. I think you got it saved. I think we might have talked about it, but it was talking about how some of the athletes and stuff like that, their self talk, right? The stuff that they say to themselves before they're about to go and like run a race or
Yeah.
whatever. Like it's that serious. Like I, when people say certain stuff, and I was like, oh, don't say that. Don't say that about yourself. And people don't take that serious. They're, oh, whatever. I call myself this all the time. Well, you don't understand that you really are affecting your conscience. What if somebody said that to your kid every day or whatever, right? You never know what kind of mindset a person is. And if they are not able to continuously have affirming thoughts about themselves, then like what are they like, how's their attitude gonna be? How's their mindset gonna be? You know what I'm saying? I know this whole thing wasn't supposed to be about
No,
mindset,
no, but we're here, and I appreciate it because you're talking about rest in peace. His name was Trevor Moad. He was a mental coach, and he worked closely with a lot of pro athletes. He wrote a book called Getting to Neutral, where he talked about neutral thinking is better than, sometimes in some ways it's positive, better than positive thinking if you can only think negatively, and really it's a concept that like it's very true. He talked about so many things. There's this one guy who was in a he tells a story about a man who was trapped inside of a refrigerator truck, and
mm,
he was so worried, and he was in there, and there was all these things I guess running through his mind or whatever, and they got to him and it was too late. He had passed away. They found out the thing wasn't even on.
that's
And in
crazy.
his mind, he thought he was gonna freeze to death, and he had like written a note or something talking about how it was wild, but he actually did
That's
pass away
wild.
in his mind because it wasn't the temperature. And there's other things where he will share stories in this book, Getting to Neutral, where it's where he talks about like real athletes in championship situations. He worked a lot with Sierra's husband. What is his name? Why am I calling him Sierra's husband?
Russell
It'll come back to me. But he worked a lot
Russell
with him,
Wilson.
Russell Wilson, and he worked a lot with some other athletes. And it's like you're not going to be on the sideline saying anything. He's like, if you can't say, keep from saying something dumb. If you can't say anything positive, don't say anything stupid. Like I
Mm-hmm.
hope we don't lose or something like that. Because the moment you say it, it's
Mm-hmm.
like your subconscious is going to town on that. So I think it's one of those things where we don't recognize the power that we have. Um, but that is one of the things that we do have in our power is the way that we talk to ourselves. But not to rag on Alfonso Ribeiro. He's a very listen. I think he's a very talented man. He's still living out his career. So I think he's meant to do great things. He
It's
already
messed up though that he can't watch the Bel Air thing because that is a great show. It's coming back in August. I'm gonna rewatch the second season, but that's messed up. That's messed up.
it
I gotta
sucks
go
for
listen
me
to that.
because I so enjoyed his character and all the stuff that he brought to like our culture as like teenagers growing up in the 90s and all the fun stuff, all of the singing, all of the Tom Jones, all of the dancing, all of the fun. Like he's Carlton, like he represents a group of people that I don't know. It was definitely a positive part of my sort of like coming of age. So it does suck that he doesn't have positive memories about that. But
I mean, yeah, but you know how
mindset.
Hollywood is, so it's no telling what was going on at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Look at this,
Some
guys.
would say, I was about to say, and some would say Will Smith is a light skinned man and Alfonso is not. So who knows what kind of politics were going on there, like, or how close he was to the characters, what was happening with the characters. So I don't know. I don't know,
I
but
don't know either, but I just want to say this. Maybe it's not Will Smith. I don't know because I don't know about the Illuminati and stuff like that. But Will Smith just seems to be a powerful force, and I think a part of it is that he has decided that he's going to be a powerful force,
hmm
and so for that reason, he will be. And I'm not saying it's all about that. He's obviously saying some other things too, but like I'm just thinking about
no,
this, like
but it is a lot about that.
and thinking about, and you know what? He probably is not somebody who's top of mind, but like Tiger Woods must have a bomb affirmation challenge on one of his closet walls because like talk about a comeback. And so this is why it reminds me of this is why I'm talking about it because Will Smith just 2.5 short years ago, people, it was the slap heard around the world. Every news station was covering it. And I mean, these people weren't even covering like the war in Ukraine. they were talking about Will Smith. Okay,
It was
it's like
crazy.
it is that was not even. I don't even think it was. I don't know. Maybe it was 3 years ago, but it wasn't that long ago. And
Mm-hmm.
now he's back, like Bad Boys, like everything, and nobody's even asking about the slap no more. Like just that whole type of like energy that he's back outside and no one can shut him down. Nobody can cancel him. Really, I just think you can't really be canceled if you just never go away. Whatever. If you did, if you don't get locked up. But but yeah, I think part of Will Smith's fourth force is that he's not going to take that no for an answer. If somebody would have told him after this doesn't even make any sense. If somebody would have told Will Smith after Fresh Prince that like, no, we want to see you in more roles like Fresh Prince. You should go for that. He would have been like, please, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's probably what he did. I don't know the story if that even happened, but it's like he was never going to be a victim of that because he was always just going to get up and do what he wanted to do and make it happen. And so that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying like, everybody should be like Will Smith, but I think it's not as much of a coincidence as maybe it might seem like because he just seems like a force. Like, okay, we're going to do this no matter how long we're staying here, we're going to do this. Like
He's
he's
like
a
that
person.
4-year-old that's dressed up like Spider-Man that really believes they're Spider-Man.
Mhm.
Because I'm telling you, it's something about. I mean, it's just something about your belief. You know what I'm saying? Like you just believe what you believe. Just like so much you can believe that like the person passed away in the refrigerator thing. Like you could believe that you're pregnant. You could believe that you're getting sick and get sick. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, yeah, yeah.
Well, listen, I believe
She looks
that.
so cute.
Oh my God, Riri's hair. I had to think about it, okay, because I was like, when I first saw it, I was like, this is so cute. How come she never wears it like this? And that's what made me think back to like, oh, I don't think I've ever seen her natural hair. Now, I probably have. We probably have seen
We
her
seen it
natural
natural permed.
when she was younger, right? But we haven't seen her natural like
Well, when
coiled
she
like
was
this.
no, we never seen it natural like that.
And
But
I think she cut her hair probably after she gave
I mean,
birth.
that picture right there is her natural hair, but it's just permed or straightened
Right.
or whatever she did.
Man, I just think this is so cute. And I shout out to Riri. I just wanted to give her that moment because
That does
when
look
I saw this, I was like, that's right.
so. And we talked about her releasing her Fenty hair care line, right? What do you
Yeah.
think this look does for her hair care line versus Sacred?
Okay, listen. People are mad. The girlies are mad. Hopefully, people will find themselves supporting either or and, right? Like, we don't have to just choose one. I just organized all my hair products and I had to throw some away because they were probably like a year old or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I had like 20 bottles of stuff. No
I,
joke. I put them
I
all in
believe.
a bin and they're all of these are, and I felt like a queen. I felt like a rich queen. Like, look at all these hair oils and things that I've accumulated. Because, like, you go grocery shopping and you're like, oh, I haven't tried this. I haven't tried this. And that stuff be adding up. But
Mm.
anyway, I have a whole collection. So hopefully people will, patron both brands and Donna's recipe. Okay. Because that was the number one.
Yeah,
Um, but I think with her coming out with her hair like this, I think it's going to do wonders for the brand because I mean, y'all, she just got so much personality. Like we just love her. We
mm.
like she's just a real girl. And she's just, you know, talking real. She's just amazing. Like I think this is going to make her even more relatable, even more unstoppable because I think this is one of those things that I don't even remember exactly what she said, but I could just hear her saying something to the tune of like, "Yeah, I was having babies and there's just too much stuff to do in the day. I'm trying to run my business. I cut it off. I cut my hair so I can have more time, and I thought it was cute. So that's that. Like this
It
is
does look cute on her.
it does look cute on her, and I wonder see stuff like this makes me wonder if anybody had ever tried to prevent her from doing this before or what, but I don't know. That's not a story,
Be
guys.
possible because when they're in artists signed to labels, it's a different. It's a like a certain look they be wanting them to have or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that one that look the haircut right there was one of her signature looks when she had the short haircut.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
she had the cute cuts when she would have it like flipped up and stuff. I do remember
mhm,
that. That was her natural hair. And she had natural hair that was longer
but
too. I
she
do
just
remember
didn't
that.
wear it like that.
It was like it wasn't like this, but yeah, shout out to her. I think that it's gonna help her brand even more.
I do too.
As if she needs
I
it.
actually can't wait to try her stuff. I'm not really. I'm gonna try Beyonce stuff too, but I think that it's the whole. I don't know. I just look at her brand. Her brand has created like a little trust puddle. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna try Beyonce stuff. I don't know why. It's not hate or anything like that. Like I love her. I'm gonna keep buying her albums and probably some of her overpriced merch and all that stuff. I'm gonna support her in
But the
other
hair
ways,
care
but
line.
I don't think I'm gonna support. I just don't think I'm gonna like it. Like there's certain things like she'll come out with like a fragrance or something, and I just know that like no, I don't think I'm gonna like that. Like I won't even. It's messed up. Like I won't even go try it because I know like that's not for me, right? Like the music is definitely for me all the time. The movies, I like the movies, most of them, and all of them. I haven't seen one that I'm like, oh, this is gross. But
Mhm.
some of them she did better than others. But like, I don't know what it is about the hair care line. It's not even appealing to me. It's not even like I've got
That's
to
what I'm
try it.
saying. Something about Rihanna's that appealed even before she. I saw her hair. I feel like I
Mhm.
saw it back to back though. But the fact that she has like shown her natural hair, whatever, and she's already created a trust in her brand. Like
Yeah,
people trust
it's
Fenty
got to be
makeup. So
trust.
so it's like, okay, you coming out with a
Is it?
hairline, a hair care line too, and you just bust out with your natural. Ah, let me see what's going
It's
on.
got to be trust because when I think about the hair care line that I'm never going to stop supporting, it is Donna's Recipe.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a level of trust that I have with Tab, even though I've never
Mm-hmm.
met her yet.
Yeah,
Okay,
because it's kind of like you assume that the person is using their own products, and that's kind of obviously we know that about Tabitha, but that's kind of what's being insinuated too about her. Like obviously and Beyonce too, but it's just that I don't know. Rihanna
I
has
don't know what it is. It's not that
influence
I don't
product.
believe her. Hey Blondie, it's not that I don't believe Beyonce
Hey
because I
Blondie,
do, and I do. Okay, so look, this is a whole other tangent. We're not even talking about Beyonce like that. It's not even about that. It's not about the fact of whether I believe her or not. It's just that maybe I'll try it one day, but I'm not running to the store to get it. Like,
mm-hmm.
and I remember, and I'm going to be super honest. I remember running to the store to get Fenty makeup, and I just ran to the store last week to get some lip glosses. But
I
I,
definitely ran to
I don't
the store
even
to
know
get
when
Donna's
this
recipe.
was that.
I said I definitely ran to the store to get Donna's
Okay.
recipe
And
because
I've run several times since then. So there's
yeah,
something there
it
because
was
I'm not
came out
even
Christmas.
necessarily like running out of my door to go get Fenty hair care, even though I was running out of my door last weekend to get some Fenty lip gloss and
Mm-hmm.
I did get it.
Well, maybe you'll
But
be running out of the door after you try it.
I probably will because she does have a quality standard that I trust her with.
Mm-hmm.
But for something about Tab, right? I don't know what it was, but the Tab products delivered, and I,
Mm-hmm.
I just somehow I knew that they would. So I
Yeah.
don't know. It is trust. It is definitely trust.
And I will say she has other products in Target, and I bought your mother there's some like vegan like ravioli. She has some pickled okra. She has I think some hummus. And something else too. Oh, obviously the popcorn or whatever. But mommy said the ravioli was good too. It was like mushroom and something.
Did she really get a tattoo, or was she just playing?
It looked like she got some avocados.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay, I see it.
she
All
said I'm gonna
right.
get a sleeve, but she got the
Okay, I
avocado.
see. That's really funny, y'all. Tab got two avocados on her arm. I know that's right.
She was saying it hurt a little bit, but she did all right. So
Well, okay,
then that little boy opened up a thing and said avocado. He said thanks.
that's funny. All right, there's no
Anyway,
way to
that's the
segue into
beginning
this
of it
next
now.
one. I mean, this is his poem. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I'm so sorry.
All I gotta say is where's Donna D? Because Donna D would what she has spoken about this word or people using this word in several different chats or whatever. Um, but this was a really good speech. I say speech because it's almost 5 minutes. So this brother did a speech about the word, and he went all into, would you call your mother that? Would you call your baby mother that? And why don't you refer to the people as kings and queens or something positive and things like that? And it kind of goes into what we were just talking about as far as like what we think of ourselves and how we talk to ourselves, right?
Yeah.
If you when you get a chance, go ahead and listen to it. He does rip off his shirt at the end. He makes his point. He drives it home. It does make you think, okay, do I really want to keep using the word like that or whatever? So it was a good I say speech because like I said it was like 5 minutes long, but it was worth listening to.
I got to go back and listen to the rest of it. Honestly, I'm ignorant. And when I started hearing what it was about, I was like, yeah, 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 you're right. And then I
Oh
turned it
my
off.
god!
But I didn't listen to the rest of it. But, those are some really good points. But I knew you were going to talk about it. So I knew I was going to get educated. But what's funny about that is you're right. We talk about that all the time about the words you use meaning something, having meaning and all of that. And then that is a good point that the way that we talk to each other um as a people, because one of the things that I was seeing, Cat Williams had put something on his timeline uh about how black people are just joning each other for anything. Like, he wearing a seatbelt. Look at this dude wearing a seatbelt. Like, he going to class. You remember that commercial with the Calvin guy going to McDonald's? He had a
Hey,
job at
Kamisha.
McDonald's. Hey, Kamisha. And they was ragging on Calvin for having a McDonald's job. And they was out there with no job. And then
Mm-hmm.
somebody tried to get a hookup. I was like, this commercial is so wrong
Let
for
me
so many reasons.
let me say this too real quick because you were so right. And Kamisha, I just now said, where's Donna D? Because Donna D has been around a whole bunch of people's chats to tell us not to use the word nigga or whatever, and we had special things to say about it. But this 5 minute speech was pretty good. And it was Iana Van Zandt posted it. But anyway, take a listen. But shout out to Kamisha review. She in the chat, y'all. Make sure y'all follow her.
Yes.
Anyway. But
I'm
anyway, you do get a chance to listen to it. I'm laughing because you was like, yeah, 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 you're right.
I'm gonna go back. Listen, I know y'all. I know. I'm still ratchet though. I mean, it's not like I'm leading with that, but it's still around. And
Yeah, I
um
feel
yeah,
like it's not that talking to the person, like I don't know how to really explain it. Like if a comedian is on stage and he's talking about like look at this nigga in his seatbelt. Like I don't look at that as being like, I don't know. But
I don't know. Part
did
of
I
me
say it's about
recognizes
Donna?
that, like, listen, I'm gonna tell
Nah,
you,
Kamisha, you remember Donna D came to your chat, and yeah, she was in your
it's
chat, and
not.
then you had to stop the whole thing and tell her about it, about it.
It's
But
I understand what this man is saying, and I'm sure that he's telling all the correct things. And it's just funny because it's like I don't know if that means I'm gonna even
stop
like
doing it.
stop doing it. And what's crazy? We just talked about this. Like you
Mm.
operate out of your beliefs. So I understand that he's sharing a belief and he probably has a lot of reasons why not to do it. I've been operating out of a different belief. And the belief that I've been operating, wow, this is a real moment, guys. This is live. The belief that I've been operating off of is that the word is there for when I need it. And when I need a word and it needs to hit and actually embody the feeling that needs to be portrayed, that word does it in so many different ways. And so do curse words. That's another thing that I said I'm gonna try to stop, because it's not necessarily like the best thing to do, but sometimes the bad word is the word that needed to be said to get home. But like it's just like nothing else captured the emotion the way that this word did. You know what I'm saying? And that's the word that I selected, and it was good, and it did the job. And so that's what I feel about. Also, I'm operating out of the belief that the word nigga is. I don't know. It's a lot of things, guys. This isn't a therapy session, but to me, it can be funny
But
at
when you get a
times.
chance,
It
listen
can be
to it. It was a
empowering at
pretty good
times
speech.
because it's like we took it back.
Well,
But
he also mentions that as well. So listen to it when you get a
I
chance.
will. But
I
anyway,
just, but
it's
I
it's
just
fine.
wanted to shout
Listen,
out Donna D because she don't come over here no more. I think because we still say the word, but this is in honor of her because she has been on several platforms to say the same thing. So I just thought this was appropriate.
well,
But
we're almost listen, we're all made of many parts. Part of me is, I just know I'm gonna continue to say the word. I mean, I'm gonna go listen to this too, and I'll, maybe I won't say it as much, but okay. Here's what's fun about this. I love this movie. Okay. Um,
Was this the one about like emotions and stuff?
Yes. So
Okay.
Inside Out, I didn't see this new one. So they
Me
have
either.
a new one, Inside Out too. But I love the older version of Inside Out, like the version where, you know, basically it's all of these different parts of her personality in this young girl's mind, and you get to see like what she's feeling and thinking, and then there's an adventure that's happening inside of her body when two of the characters that are making up her personality get lost in her brain, and they have to make their way back, and it turns out like that you need all your emotions, right? And it was like such a good movie. I love that movie. Sometimes when I'm like sick or when I don't feel good or when I'm just bored, I'll put something like that on, and it looks like, I don't know who these new ones are, but the one of them looks like Anxiety, and the girl is growing up. So I would imagine that that these are like new things.
Two
But
hundred and $95 million is wild.
well, look, this is a really good movie. This is like, I'm excited for this movie. This isn't just for children, and I think they do that a lot. I think not Kevin on Stage, but Tony Baker has said that at some point. Like, they don't really. Some of these movies are not for the kids. Like, they're just as much for the adults. Because like, I can't wait to watch this, and it's in the movie theaters right now. But
Okay.
I'm so excited about this joint.
I've been hearing good things about Bad Boys 4 as well. A lot of the reviews are really good. I think I only heard one review of somebody saying that they thought that Bad Boys 2 was better, but um,
Oh, okay.
most of the people have been saying like it's a really good movie. So I got to see that, and I did like this movie, so I'm gonna have to see that. But 295 million is so wild.
It's crazy. It just lets you know there's an abundance, guys. Where did that come from?
Uh,
Like the universe showed up for this movie. Whoever needed to pay rent,
oh my
they
goodness.
got it on that. Look, but I'll just tell you, the world is wide, and somewhere where somebody's earning 200 billion, 95 million, somebody's being a hater. Now, I didn't even want to cover this, but we're here now. Uh, Miss Pat, who is a comedian, and I don't know a whole lot about her, but I know she's been around for a long time, and a lot of people know who she is. She's a working comedian. Like, she's
And yeah, she got
working.
a show on Netflix too.
Yeah, I think I had put something. I don't know if we ever talked about it, but there was a topic that came up on one of their more recent episodes. Buttercup, if you would please.
I watched
So
the
anyway,
first.
she's calling out Big Tigger for getting her and Shamia Morton fired from his morning show. Now, he had a show over here, but it wasn't a morning show. He had a show in DC, and he had, like, of course, Big Tigger's Basement.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember, like, I'm not in Atlanta, so I haven't heard this show that he's now on, this radio show that he's on. But Miss Pat is explaining in this clip that she thought that he was jealous, that he basically like smiled in their face, and the next thing you know, they were without work, and so he basically did it. And I don't know, what do you think about this? She's saying that he's like
I don't know.
he's
I
kind
didn't
of
hear
like a
anything about
female
it.
for acting like that.
I didn't hear anything about it, and I don't really know a lot about Big Tigger, even though he was, he's the from the area, but I don't know about his working ethic or whatever. I would have to look and see what she's talking about. I only watched the first season, I think, of the Miss Pat show. It's really good though, but I don't know.
I don't know what happened there. I hate to think that that this is what happened, but you know,
But she on the Breakfast Club talking about, like, these days it's just sad that we do got to question everything because it's no telling what's real and what's fake at this point. So
I know, but
I don't
hopefully she
know.
keeps it moving and creates another opportunity
I'm gonna
for
look
herself.
into it though.
Yeah, some of this stuff is like, I hate it when things like this happen, but it seems like she has a lot of things going for herself. So I'm glad that she's not like being held back by it.
Yeah. No, but it's,
Speaking of
again,
which,
it's mindset too because you know she's already doing well. She's already and that one thing is not going to stop her. It's probably going
that's
to
right.
motivate her bit.
That's so good of a concept too, because if you think about how, and I often use this, I'm going to share this with everyone, guys. When you think about a hater, oh, the love that haters must feel, these miserable bums that they're dedicating all of their time and attention to studying us. How fascinating that I'm so great that you want to study me. I think that's so great.
What's
Um,
up, Siren? He said
What's
Miss
up,
Pat.
Tyrant? Oh my God, Tyrant! I actually have a story to share that I thought was hilarious. But anyway, I didn't even plan on doing that, so I don't know. Well, I will.
Anyway,
I will, because actually it kind of ties into this.
okay.
Um, yeah, while we're here, I might as well do that, and then I'll go back to whatever I was talking about the hater stuff. But no, what's funny is I talked to your mom like last week, a couple weeks ago, and I had a good laugh. Even though this is not funny, I just wanted to share the story because it just came out of my brain, and I was like, "Oh my God, that really happened." So I was telling her like, "Hey, listen, I just wanted to let you know that our generation owes your generation an apology because it turns out y'all were right about all that music we were listening to. Those people were evil, right? Like they were lowlives. They were up to no good." I was like, I remember specifically getting checked a couple of times by your mother telling me that I must have been in the fourth or the fifth grade when Honey Love came out, and she told me that R. Kelly was a nasty man. And I remember thinking, like, yo, how dare you say something like that? You don't even know who he is. And she used to hate it when I would listen to that song Rump Shaker. But it was on the radio. It's like, listen, lady, do what you gonna do. Turn the radio off. I'm gonna turn it back on. You know, like this, you've lost here. But I told her, I was like, I just have to tell you that turns out y'all were right, and somebody should say it because they turns out they were low lives. And I
They were.
remember distinctly my aunt Val. I don't know if she was having a conversation with our mother or whether she was just telling us that like that she didn't like Aaron Hall. She didn't like Aaron Hall and Guy, and she didn't
Was
want
right
Tia.
about that one too,
She
because
wasn't.
that's
She did not like
a
this. Tia
dirty
was
man. No.
listening to this song talking about um I forget what, but she was like, she did not like that one song. It was like, let's chill or something. She was like,
Mm-hmm.
because what's going to happen after that? And then she was like, talking about the lyrics. And that was what she really had a problem with the lyrics. And I remember thinking, like, oh my God, our parents are so weird. Like, they just think these people are out here, like, evilly, like, assaulting people or something.
And they were. And
Music.
some of them
But
probably
they
still
were
are.
right. They were right. They were like, you listen to this, evil music, and they were right. So just gotta say that. But anyway, if you hear that damn R. Kelly, yeah, if you he said I need a story because yeah, that was the story. So she didn't like Aaron Hall, and she didn't like, as I know, it was Let's Chill, and it was at least one other song. And I remember she came to come like either drop me off or something, and I rapped for her the whole like some Britney's Got a Baby or something like that. And I remember her like being nice to me and saying like, "Oh, that's nice that you learned that," you know. And she didn't have anything bad to say about that. She didn't have anything bad to say about Tupac. She was just talking about other music, and I just remember she didn't like that song, and that was just hilarious
That's
to me. I
funny.
just had to share that.
That's
But
very
anyway, back to the hater thing. I don't know if Tig is a hater, but the great thing about people hating on you is that you obviously have something, and they can't stop you. And
funny.
that's the great thing, and like that's the first thing that I loved about that Renaissance album when Beyonce came out with that album a couple years ago, was that the first track starts, and the first thing you hear is, none of these motherfuckers stopping me. And it just keeps saying it over and over. None of these motherfuckers stopping me. None of these motherfuckers stopping me. And it was just like so funny to think that to yourself. Like, you're right. No matter who hates you or who doesn't like what you're wearing or how you look or the way you hold your face up or, it doesn't matter. They're not stopping you. What's also interesting to me, and I used this analogy to you before, was like, imagine, and this isn't even, about what we were just talking about, but imagine that you were like this great speaker and people were coming from all across lands to come and see you speak. and you're over there worried about the person protesting across the street. It's like thousands of people have come to hear what you have to say, and you're so concerned about these people who don't like you. Like, let them be over there. They're not going to stop what's happening in this arena. You know what I'm
But see,
saying? Like,
that's why most people don't act on stuff, and most people aren't successful because they either start thinking and stop themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, at the end of the day, they're stopping themselves. Nobody's
yeah,
stopping them but themselves. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But that's what this whole show has been about, guys. We're so
yeah.
sorry that we really didn't cover a whole bunch of trending topics, but I feel like it
Oh
was still a
my God.
good conversation about mindset or whatever. I'm gonna have to look more into this Miss Pat situation though, because she is funny as hell. And why would he be hating? So I don't know. I
I
gotta
don't
look.
know. There's more
But
to come on
somebody
that.
else is co-signing it, right? It's not just her. It's her and somebody else that got fired. You said
Yeah, Shamia Morton. Remember,
before they started.
Shamia Morton is the best friend of Portia Williams, and
Mm-hmm.
she was also really cool with
I
Candy
remember
at one
her.
point. And I
Yeah,
mean,
she
she
was
was on
on the
Real
show a little
Housewives,
bit. Yeah.
and I've heard some drama about them. We might have to cover that next week. Anyway, we have a lot of topics, but we're just gonna. I think this is a good point because the next time that we talk, there's gonna have been more stuff that have happened, and we're gonna delve into those topics too, guys. So we'll save the
Absolutely.
rest of these topics we have, and we were gonna see y'all next week. I'm so glad y'all came. Oh wait, we didn't give any shout outs. Did you want to give any
No,
shout outs,
I
anybody?
wanted you to, before we do the shout outs, you were talking about a while ago. We're just going to jump back a little bit. You were talking about the channels that you watch for workouts. You said Juice and Toya, and what else? I forgot.
Oh yeah, so this name, Issa Welly. Issa, I think her name is Issa. Issa Welly. I can't remember whether
And
she calls it. And she says it at the beginning of her videos too. She'd be like,
mm-hmm,
"Hi, welcome to my videos." I think she's saying Issa Welly.
I
It might
think
be
so.
Issa
But
Welly.
she does Pilates, right?
Yeah.
And then
So if
Juice
you
and
look up, like,
Toya.
the reason I found her was because I searched beginners Pilates, and
Mm-hmm,
I'll search beginners whatever I'm doing, beginners kettlebell, beginners,
mm-hmm,
and you know what also is funny is like it does take a variety, and before, like,
mm-hmm,
there's some truth to that, just having to start, because when I tried to plan it all out before, it's like, no way you're ever gonna catch it like that. You gotta like have to start, and then get to the gym, get a cadence of going to the park or whatever, wherever you're doing, and then form a plan. Because you got
mm-hmm.
to start, if you form a plan first, it's like you're not really going to believe yourself if you're not working out already. I don't know. It works different for everybody. But for me, it
I
was
mean,
like
you can
I
have
had
like
to
a
start.
loose plan of what you're gonna go do, but the main point is getting there. You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It really doesn't matter what you do. If a
Yeah.
person, it just doesn't matter because you're trying to create the habit. In that stage, it really doesn't matter. Once it matters is when you get that extra aggressiveness or whatever you call it at the end, like the or after you get like that
Oh,
last.
the arrogance. Yeah.
Yeah, the extra arrogance or whatever. So like that's like you have to think about it in stages. Like, yeah, eventually you're gonna be this person that works out all the time and does whatever, whatever. But right now you're trying to create the habit and get yourself used to moving your body. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So yeah, try different things. But I wanted you to make sure you shouted those pages out. Is there
Yes.
any
So
other one?
obviously, Juice Toya, um, Issa Welly, and I love Grow with Joe. And there's this actual, I think there are a couple that talk about kettlebell workouts. I was very scared of kettlebell workouts because um you can injure yourself, and that's what I mostly hear about. This man named his name is Funk Roberts, but him and I
Hmm,
think his wife run his channel. If you look up Funk Roberts,
I'm looking.
they have such good details on like how to hold your back and how to push your
Mm-hmm.
hips back, because sometimes when I don't know if this is a gap or whatever, but like when you're kind of like getting back into working out, you don't remember all the terms and stuff. And I know, like, sometimes when people be like, drive your hips back and da da da, it's like, what does that mean? Even when people say straighten your back, to me, it feels like I'm arching my back. But I think you really have to, just get somebody you're comfortable with and learn their terminology. But I really like the way they broke down the form for handling kettlebells. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when I realized, like, oh, I can really do this if I wanted to. I don't do those all the
Mm-hmm.
time, but I like the variety of being able to switch and being like, oh, today I'm going to do this. Oh, today I'm going to do that. I don't know what I'm going to do, so let me just walk. Right? Like, so, but yeah, Funk Roberts and Yeah, just to recap. Funk Roberts.
Okay, so I
Golden
will look
Child.
up Funk Roberts. I will also throw out there Lift with C. She is a woman over 40 that does a great job of. She does a whole bunch of dumbbell workouts.
Okay.
And then Sydney Howdy Shell, Sydney Cummings Howdy Shell. She's a
Okay.
beast because she does everything. She does work. She does like no equipment. She does um, dumbbells and stuff like that. But she's been doing it for a while, so she has even 5 minute workouts, 10 minute workouts, 20 minute workouts, 30 minute workouts. She has a bunch of like different things. So Lift with C, Sydney Cummings Howdy Show, I think that's her name. If you put in any of that, it should come up. And then the other one is Trap Cardio. If you just want to
Oh,
dance, definitely follow Trap Cardio. Okay, it is they're in Virginia, but they do a lot of pop ups in different cities or whatever. But um, Trap Cardio is just like it sounds. You're dancing and you're doing exercise, so it's fun. So try something that is different. You know, do like you did, searching. You know, beginner this, beginner that. And just do it. I mean, like I
yeah.
said, even if you don't, right now you're in the realm of creating the habit. So just focus on that. Focus on just showing up. If you don't do, you know, as long as you even if you don't finish their whole video, right? You
Yeah.
did what you could and you showed up. That's fine because
Yep.
you're in the moment of creating the habit. Anyway, that's what I'll leave you with tonight, guys. If you are a woman over 40 and you need some help, some motivation to get back on track, definitely make sure that you follow my podcast, The Self Care Revolution, on Apple and Spotify. And you can also find me on Facebook, Transform Your Habits or by Demita Joe. Okay, it is also going to be. Did I put it in the description below? I don't think I did. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna leave y'all hanging on that one. I might come back and update the description, but it's in another video. That is so ghetto. Anyway, uh, do you want to talk about what you're gonna be doing on your channel?
No, not yet. But I think we should say that we're gonna wind down this season and we're gonna take a break probably in about 3 weeks. So we'll probably have more information next week, but then we're coming back with an all new season probably like a month after that. So just want to put
Yeah,
that out.
because we're almost at 100 episodes, guys. So thank you all for always riding with us, participating in the chat. Share this video, share our other videos, binge watch our other videos because we've been doing this for like 2 years now. You know what I'm saying? And we get on here and we want to talk about trending topics, but we have been, we're both into personal development and mindset and like, organization and stuff like that. So the conversation kind of goes, where it goes. So I hope you guys do enjoy the
It is.
conversation though.
It
Anyway,
is.
you got any last words?
No, I'll share my thoughts with you on that off camera. But as usual, I love talking to you, and I love that you guys joined us for a talk with me and my sister. And I can't wait to see y'all next week. Oh, that was so good.
It did it. It didn't do. I wanted to do this earlier because I wanted to have like that for what you said. You said something earlier that I wanted to do that with, but I don't know what it was for now.
Okay, that's fine. All right, listen, guys, we'll be back next week.
Yes. Peace, everybody.